Depends on how awkward it is. I mean, I'm sitting on a purple leopard print couch, so. The process by which Wildlife was written was long and stressful, is the first thing that I have to say. Took us about a year and a half altogether, I think, to really fine-tune everything to the point where you felt comfortable with it. And the entire time we were doing that, we were doing tours and dividing our lives between touring and then writing and recording. So it was an exhausting process, but it was very rewarding. Most of the stories on the record come from people that I met or that we met, and that after meeting them you couldn't shake. You know, like some things just affect you and some things don't leave you. And I think that's part of the reason that we decided to approach this record that way, is because we had these encounters with real people or things that happened in the neighborhoods where we lived or live. And those things really, you know, shook. They for everyone, I think you hear these stories, and not just the stories on the records, but in everyone's lives you hear stories that really affect you. With Wildlife, it kind of started as a central theme. More on this record, there was a concept beforehand. Somewhere it's more of a collection of songs. There's some things that lace throughout it, and there's a thematic, I guess, story arc. But Wildlife started as a pretty specific and deliberate concept, and the themes kind of developed on their own during the writing process. I think there were certain things that we had in mind that we wanted to capture musically and lyrically, but for the most part, we just had this idea for a structure, and all the themes just kind of came out of that. And I think it was just where we all are in our lives right now, that those things just kind of inevitably showed up. I think it's really silly that people want to call whatever's happening in music a movement or like a resurgence or a revival or anything. I don't think it's a talking point. I think hardcore, punk and hardcore, and the spirit that fuels it never left, never went anywhere. If anything, it was just in people's basements and in coffee shops, and you know, and I think there was, I don't know, anytime that there's an oversaturation of one thing, the opposite inevitably comes back. And I think people want something that they can attach to emotionally now, on a broader scale than they did maybe previously. But I'm not an expert, so I don't really know. But I think it's kind of stupid. There have always been immensely talented and emotionally driven, passionate bands, and maybe now it's being brought more to the forefront, but I don't really know. I don't know. It's a strange thing, but I don't think it ever left. I don't think it ever will. It just changes shapes.